If you're looking for a way to see real improvements in the way you speak, then Reverse-Engineer Phonetics is your answer. This video explains how Reverse-Engineer Phonetics works. The reason most speech training today aren't effective is that every learner is at different levels of speech proficiency, whereas most speech training targets common issues. The result is that training focus is not productively spent addressing each learner's real speech weaknesses. On average, learners get up to only 30% of productive value from the speech training they sign up for. These are the topics covered in most typical speech training, where I regard clarity, pace, pause, and tone to be foundational skills. Here you see the percentages of learners that have skill gaps in each topic. For instance, 80% of learners need to improve on their clarity, while 65% of them need to work on their confidence. And so, Reverse-Engineer Phonetics focuses on such techniques as diction, stress and linking to address clarity, cadence and modulation to address pace and pause, and inflection to address tone. In extreme situations, the trainer might even address vocabulary if needed. At the start of a Reverse-Engineer Phonetics workshop, each learner is assessed on their current level of speech proficiency. Yes, every learner. Most learners say this is the first time their level of speech proficiency is assessed this way. Anyone who's serious about improving their speech should aim to be in the 7 to 10 point bracket by the end of the training. This early assessment ensures every learner knows exactly what areas of their speech they need to work on throughout the workshop. We can only solve a problem when we know what the problem is. So, when we don't know what we don't know, it's a barrier to real learning. However, we stand a chance when we possess 1. A willingness and the drive to want to improve, and 2. The capability and aptitude to pick up new skills. Most speech training defines the structured process designed to improve vocal production, articulation, and public speaking skills. Even with phonetics, learners are taught the what and then the how. After all, these skills truly have been proven to be effective techniques. The problem is that every learner needs different degrees of these skills to see real improvement. Reverse-Engineer Phonetics first identifies where these skills are to be applied and then explains why this has to be done. In other words, Reverse-Engineer Phonetics first uncovers the parts of each learner's current speech that need to be worked on. Only then does each learner focus on these areas throughout the workshop. This ensures every learner goes about working on these areas of speech using the tools identified for them. Each learner will be assessed based on their identified areas, making this training relevant and meaningful for each learner. To summarize, Reverse-Engineer Phonetics assesses the speech proficiency levels of every learner. This assessment is recorded in a card which defines the areas of focus for each learner throughout the training, making every learner having slightly different effort and outcomes, but everyone would show improvement specific to the areas of weakness. Each learner could be assessed up to 9 times throughout one's workshop, so that the trainer can track observable behavioral changes after each new skill is taught. These assessments by the trainer are brutally honest to ensure every learner knows exactly how well they have executed their newfound skills. The trainer will not give a good score just to make anyone feel good. So what can you do? Well, firstly, if you want real improvement in your speech, sign up for a speech class that uses Reverse-Engineer Phonetics. Or you can start a private one-on-one session with the trainer. Perhaps you could adopt Reverse-Engineer Phonetics methodology in all your communication training within your organization. Or if you are an ATO, you could use Reverse-Engineer Phonetics as a competitive advantage in every communications and speech course that you offer. There is probably no other speech training that uses Reverse-Engineer Phonetics methodology in Singapore or indeed in Asia. If you're looking for impactful speech improvement that is observable, Reverse-Engineer Phonetics is the answer. Have a chat with Joseph today on joe@phoneticsjoe.com.